Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Gregoire Vogelsang. Belgian art dealer Gregoire Vogelsang, owner of the eponymous Vogelsang Gallery, a contemporary art gallery that is a fixture in the International Art Fair circuit and represents emerging and established artists, is also the founder of Cube Art Fair, a contemporary art fair launched in 2016 with editions in Brussels and New York. Amid COVID-19, Gregoire pivoted from his in-person art fair to a public art platform dedicated to bringing the artwork to the streets of cities through hundreds of billboards, kiosks, and murals in New York, Miami, and Brussels. Critically acclaimed as the world's largest public art fair, the Cube Art Fair launched its first ever NFT art fair last June on a 30-story billboard in Times Square.
Well, good afternoon, Gregoire. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Brian. Yes, thank you for inviting me.
This is amazing. I really appreciate you jumping on. And you know, like I talk about this all the time with the guests is, you know, I get to meet somebody new. I have many connections, of course, but to meet those connections either in person or virtually on a call is just amazing. So thank you again. And I know you're hailing out of the country of Brussels and New York, right? So this is awesome. So thank you. So we're going to jump right into the questions. So Gregoire, you've got quite the career in art as a serial entrepreneur and as the founder of Cube Art Fair. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
What inspired me, I will say, is definitely the creativity of artists. That's really something that I really surprise every day. And, you know, we always thinking that we saw everything and then you go to another show and boom, you see something then totally new and totally exciting. And that's really the part and I love the most in what I do is that I could be surprised by the creativity and inspired by the creativity of artists.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And I think there's so much, you know, excitement around art these days, especially as it comes to these NFTs as well, as you know, but art is amazing. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's a really, you know, our artist creativity never stopped. Even during the pandemic, they just didn't have the opportunity to be featured, but creativity of artists is really what drive the world when the world is in difficult time. And I think we need artists more than ever. And art brings people together. So that's why I love this industry.
That's awesome. And so talking about the pandemic, right? We think it's starting to lift and we hope so anyway. But what are your plans for business growth going forward? Will it be any different than during the lockdown?
Well, the thing is, any different. I think what I've been seeing as, you know, a fair founder and entrepreneur is that you need to be able to pivot if needed. And so, what is the plan is definitely to now keep the platform that we've been creating for the past 16 months as the world's largest public art fair, you know, bringing the creativity of artists into the street of cities such as we did in New York, Brussels, and Miami. And we will moving forward, but we won't be afraid to change or to adapt if needed. So we don't know yet what we will need to adapt from, but I think the lesson here is definitely to just be able to hear the environment and adapt. And when you see all the companies that have been successful, I mean, the pandemic, were all companies who were willing to adapt and be creative, frankly, and find new ways to do their job, such as we did with Cube Art Fair. Our job as a fair is to feature the creativity of artists in front of the public. And we did exactly that when we launched the Stay Creative campaign on the street of cities, where we use hundreds of billboards to be able to feature the creativity of artists and the artwork in a way that is safe and in a way that is accessible to the public. And we did just that now for the past 16 months. Moving forward, we embrace the NFTs technology to pivot again and to create something exciting for our artists.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. And we've all had to make major shifts, obviously, to adjust to the pandemic. But the fact that people can still, that human spirit can still come out, innovate, and do things to make people, pull us all together. So I think that's amazing. So thank you again. And Gregoire, you recently organized Cube Art Fair's first NFT, non-fungible token art fair, which was brought to New York City earlier this summer. So was planning an NFT edition of Cube Art Fair different than the regular editions? And where do you see the most promise in NFTs?
No, so it's definitely different from organizing our in-person show. And that's why, we are excited in what we do, because we are just able to get excited about new things. So why is it different? Is that now we are using our platform as the world's largest public art fair to featured for the first time NFTs in a physical way. So we realized that for most of the general public, NFTs seems very abstract, even if the press for the past few months, talking more and more about the NFT technology, but realistically, when you speak to the vast majority of the public, NFT is still very abstract in some way. So we wanted to amplify further our mission to bring art to the public and make art accessible to the public. And we did just that with the NFT art fair, where we bring NFT artwork to massive billboards. We were in 100 billboards in New York, including a 30-story tall billboard in the middle of Times Square, where the public were able to actually see physically the NFT artwork, which normally could only be seen on an iPhone or on a laptop. So that's what is NFT art fair is different. And you were asking me also what was the
most
benefits. That's right. So the benefit of NFTs, I will say there's many, but the main on the collector side, the buyer side, is that now the collectors are able to verify the authentication of the provenance. And on the artist side, the artists actually with the NFTs keep getting royalties in case of resales. So which never happen in the secondary market physical world, is that you buy a painting, you resell your painting to another buyer. The artist that originally created that painting doesn't get any royalty from it. With NFTs, you buy an NFTs, you decide to resell it at any point at any time. The artist, the original creator, will keep getting money from it forever. So in perpetuity. So that's I think, very great benefit for the artist.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you're absolutely right. NFT is such, I think, going to be a great benefit. It's going to change the way we do business in the world. In fact, this platform, Gregoire, is also built on the blockchain. We're on the Neblio blockchain, and everything that we're doing, including your podcast today, will be associated with a Coruzant token or NFT. So it's very exciting about this. So thank you again.
With different industry, right? We see the tokenization of asset now in across many different industries, such as music rights or esports, and so art naturally embrace the technology, which is the beginning of something that will last in very long time.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. So, Gregoire, last question here. Can you share
Yeah.
something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in either art or entrepreneurship?
Well, when you want to build your career in art, as an artist, a lot of artists doesn't realize that they really building building an artistic career is really building a business. That's what you have to really understand, and that's what if you think about the business of running and being an artist is you have the creativity is the product basically, and so they create, and that's I will say really unique in art is that, and in any other industry you will always have like a guideline, when you create something you have to follow rules, or you have to need to be this way or this way. When you create art, the artist is the only one that decides what the result, what the product has to look like. But at the end of the day, once he created, the rules for everything else is exactly running a business. An artist need the marketing, you need distribution. So distribution could be like galleries or fairs. Marketing could be many different things, including promoting the artist career in the press or many different ways. But I think really the main idea is that you have to run your artistic career as a business and not hesitate to also see that it's not only about creating, but it's about everything else that needs to be done, and that require resources, energy, time, sometimes money too, and that's what I would say.
Thank you. I think that's important, that sharing your story and the way you've built your career and had some of that success is very helpful. And again, I call those gems or nuggets for our audience. So thank you again, Gregoire. And Gregoire, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
Yes, I'm very happy to be able to share some of our thoughts, and we'll look forward to hear much more of you podcast in the future.
Bye for now.